Wanted is a pretty crazy high-concept action movie from 2008. In it, Wesley lives a loser life with a loser job until one day he gets approached by a stranger who tells him that he's a wizard with guns. He can shoot the wings off a fly, he can shoot the bullet off a bullet, and of course, he can curve bullets. And the best way to describe Wanted is that it's basically like that song Somebody That I Used to Know. It came out of nowhere with little to no brand recognition, it made a splash and racked up $350 million, and then it disappeared. No sequel, no franchise, nothing. Just one and done.
He's the man.
Now, of course, that's not entirely true. It was based on a comic book, I guess, and it did spawn a legacy in form of a video game. One of my favorite games that I never owned, actually. I couldn't afford it at the time, so I just played the demo again and again. So, not entirely nothing. But still, pretty remarkable results for a movie that 95% of audiences had never heard of before. Which begs the question of how. How was Wanted able to come from obscurity and make back 5 times its budget, even though you could argue it's dragged down by a pretty weak midsection that goes on way too long? Well, mostly it's thanks to the way it wields its greatest weapon, concept. How it gets to the concept, uses the concept, and finds a tonal and visual flair complementing the concept. As I've said before, concept is one of the key factors deciding whether a movie ends up in the spotlight or darkness. And here's a great example of the first. So today, let's curve our way into that, into how Wanted uses its concept in just the right way to produce amazing results. Unlike some movies we talked about recently. Oh, and speaking of movies we talked about recently, for all of you who left comments on my iRobot video saying I should get a job, you're right. And I did, as a gamer. Well, it's more of a side hustle, but basically I make a little extra cash by playing mobile games. It ain't much, but it is better than playing them for free. Every YouTuber is telling you and me to try Raid Shadow Legends, so if we do, better to get something for it, right? That's what Free Cash is for. It's an app where you can play games and complete surveys to earn money. Very simple. You go to the app, select a survey to fill or a game to play, and it shows you the steps you get paid for, whether it's reaching a level or completing a task. Just remember to enable app tracking so that your progress counts. Free Cash is very popular and highly rated, with a 4.7 rating on Trustpilot from over 250,000 reviews. You can cash out anytime in many ways like gift cards and PayPal, which work perfectly for me. So if you already spend time chilling on your phone, you might as well earn something for it by doing it through Free Cash. Try it out with the link below or the QR code on screen, and you also get a $5 bonus for signing up. Thanks for the support. The first concept strength here is that this movie sells its specialty to the audience quickly to hook them for the experience ahead. In the very beginning, Wanted sets off in the same way most movies do, by showing the hero in his status quo. Wesley is a loser stuck in a boring office job with people who walk all over him, and overall, his life is best described with 9-inch nails, which is always a great way to get Filmento into it. But music aside, showing a bored hero living a boring life isn't exactly enough to hook the general audience. The first thing most people will ask is, what makes this movie special? Out of all movies, why is this one worth my time and attention tonight? Well, in Wanted, the answer comes already at the 3-minute mark when we follow a man we believe to be Wesley's long-missing dad up into a high-rise. He gets targeted by hired killers from across the street, and then crazy stuff unfolds. He increases his heart rate to observe his surroundings with heightened precision. He jumps out the window to soar across the gap. He fires his guns to kill the thugs with amazing aim, including a shot curving behind cover. And then he gets a call from the guy who hired the thugs, and that's right, he gets hard-scoped all the way across the damn map by a camper. The guy who apparently has been going around killing members of this bullet-curving assassin faction that Wesley's dad was part of. And just like that, the audience's reason to pay interest has been established. Now we can gladly watch more of Wesley's unexciting life because we know more of this exciting special stuff is on the way. And the reason introducing that specialty quickly is crucial is because nowadays especially, the selection is large and the attention spans are short. Unless the audience pays interest long enough to see your specialty, they won't even know there is specialty. It's like I said in my old guard video. I was bored and ready to turn the movie off because it was so bland, but then suddenly the heroes got shot to death. And then they rose up like it was a minor inconvenience, and I was in. But there is also a counter argument to be made, which I saw in the new Netflix sci-fi action movie War Machine. That movie takes a long time to get to the concept, a long time to just build character. And it worked really well. By focusing on characters first, the movie made you care much more about their survival relating to the concept later. Character is and always will be more important than concept. But at the same time, there is a golden middle road to be found. Even in War Machine they gave earlier hints about a weird asteroid which helped you sense that something was on the way. Like you knew something out of this world was coming. And so the question isn't whether you should introduce your special concept early, but more so how to do it in a way that best fits your movie. You can begin with the concept through character, you can begin with the concept separately, you can begin with character and then take a break for the concept, or you can hint at the concept on the fringes of your character's path if you feel confident in your character writing skills. But the main thing is to inform the audience quickly that the specialty is on the way. Because if it takes too long and you start to lose people, in theaters they will zone out and at home they will turn you off. The quicker you can sell your conceptual specialty, the better your chances to gain and hold interest. And here, where the status quo isn't exactly on par with something like War Machine, that is done very well. The second concept strength here is that this movie keeps finding ways to feature its specialty in everything it does to maintain a unique feel in otherwise common scenes. As I mentioned in my last video, doing basic action bang bang boom boom is pretty useless. There's a million action movies that do that, a lot of which do it better, so why would I need to watch your movie to see it? And unlike The Bluff, which was a pirate movie that did nothing pirate related, Wanted answers that question by taking full advantage of what only it can do. The main idea is that there are modern assassins with heightened senses and full control of their bodies that the guns are an extension of, which is very prevalent in all the action. Wesley goes to the store and meets this nice assassin called Fox, and then they get attacked by the bad guy who killed his dad and now wants to kill him, leading to some pretty wild action. They fire guns and the bullets ping off of each other. Fox pulls out a gun device that allows her to see beyond cover. They escape with a car and Fox uses her whole body to drive while leaning out to shoot at the bad guy chasing them. And just before the guy loses them, I'm about to end this man's whole career. Even though all of this bang bang vroom vroom at its core is very common, the way it happens is not at all. A lot of what you see, you can see only here because it's made possible specifically by this movie's concept. And in this way, whatever one it does, action related or not, it keeps sourcing it from its conceptual specialty. When Wesley is at work, he keeps seeing the world and his annoying boss through his heightened senses. When Wesley gets trained to be an assassin, it involves getting beat up and beat down and bruised and bloodied, and then healed quickly through ancient methods. Even when he gets his first assignments, it still isn't just simple bang bang bang. There are always variables requiring his special skill set. He needs to kill a target from a moving train by curving the bullet through the window. He needs to kill a target in a bulletproof car by flipping his car over and firing the shot.
What the fuck?
And when he's finally going after the bad guy, it doesn't happen just anywhere, but in a moving train full of people, which means stuff like Fox driving alongside them, trying to get a shot in. Civilians running in the way, forcing them to curve bullets. Fox's car crashing on board, and more stuff you don't see every day. Now, 3 things I want to say. Yes, I have talked about this plenty before. Yes, different concepts can still end up with similar things. And yes, concept doesn't automatically mean good, because even here there's some dumb mythology stuff. Apparently, the assassins get their kill targets from the threads of this holy carpet that they're weaving.
We call this the loom of fate. A clan of weavers discovered a mystical language hidden in the fabric.
And it's like, come on, man, wouldn't hurt to be a bit more normal there.
If the vertical thread is on top, it's a 1. If it's below, it's a 0.
Where do the names come from?
Necessity to maintain balance in the
But still, the power of a utilized concept cannot be talked about enough. To this day, we keep seeing movies that waste their specialty. And if you ever feel like that you don't know how to make your scene special or what to even do in a scene, the answer most likely lies in your concept. Look at this standoff moment toward the end, for example. The reason I remember it very vividly even years later is 100% because it's born from the concept. Think about it. This movie is all about heightened senses and curving bullets. And now the heroes are stuck in a circular room with bad guys all around. And how do they resolve that problem? Well, yeah, the movie takes its central idea of curving bullets and cranks it up to 360 degrees. And just like that, we have a climactic moment that will stand the test of time because it cannot be found anywhere else. And in movies, there is no better way to get and stay with an audience than this, using concept to add variables to otherwise traditional scenes to produce a unique result. The third concept strength here is that this movie boosts its specialty with a corresponding visual flair and tone that's very standout and entertaining to watch. Like I mentioned, Wanted isn't afraid to go all out in terms of presentation. It warps the screen, uses slow-mo and speed ramps, rewinds time and space. Cool stuff. But what really makes all this cool stuff work is that it's not random, but specifically tied to the conceptual elements, who the characters are and what they can do and what kind of world they live in. The hero is overstimulated because of his assassin senses, and that's how it feels on screen. The hero is an office drone stuck in a daily loop, seen as a fast forward. The hero finally stands up to his a-hole friend and breaks a keyboard into his face with a special title message. All of these visual and tonal choices work because they're organic to what's going on. For example, what is this movie's main theme about? Well, it's about breaking out of your shell, breaking the rules, doing stuff you shouldn't be doing due to customs or laws of physics.
But that's simply not possible.
And that is what's on screen. Bullets get their own camera as they curve through the air and smash into each other. Targets are listening to opera in their car while being hunted for dead. The hero can see and hear into another house as shown by the roaming camera. The fourth wall is broken. Knives get caught by a gun barrel with a funny sound. Mice explode with a funny sound. And when the bad guy steals a truck, it's full of dog bobbleheads that keep bobbing and barking to add that little extra bit of standout flair to this vehicle chase scene. To be clear, my point isn't that you should do crazy fun stuff on screen to be entertaining, but more so that it should boost your conceptual ideas. Sherlock Holmes is a prime example of amazing visual flair and tone, and it's 100% organic to the concept. Sherlock is a big brain guy who sees everything fast and in great detail, and that's how it is on screen. The way characters interact and behave, the way the story unfolds, the way you should pay attention. When Sherlock and Moriarty play chess on a board as two big brain characters, they're also playing another type of chess on a whole other board. Big brain. This may seem like an obvious lesson, but it is very easy to go beyond what you are. Michael Bay is really good at building an entertaining tone and visual flair, but he also keeps getting lost. He might be doing one thing and then present it in a way that makes no sense and is actually harmful. That's why he's at his best with absurd comedies like Pain and Gain or high-speed actioners like Ambulance, because his style complements what the movies are. That's the lesson to take here. Identify the core of what your movie is conceptually and then find ways to boost that on screen. That's one of Wanted's greatest strengths that is very visible at the end, for example. We began the movie with a guy realizing he's about to be hard-scoped, and we end it in the exact same way from another perspective. Even though the ending is pretty easy and without obstacle, it's so complementary to what this movie is and why it's special that you just can't help but enjoy. What a cool movie that you cannot find anywhere else in this way. Not this fast, not with this kind of execution, and not with this kind of presentation. And if you haven't yet seen Wanted, I have just one question to ask.
What the f have you done lately?
And speaking of, again, stop playing mobile games for free. If you spend time on your phone, at least get paid a little for it with free cash. Check it out with the link below or the QR code on screen to get $5 as a sign-up bonus. Thanks very much.